I'm going to try to be as efficient as possible here, and what I want to talk about is the 2020 to 2021 PLO form that everybody's got to turn in. And I know that we have the other form from 2018 to 19, the follow-up for Andy and for Allison, not for Kristen because it's a newer program, but I think this is going to help y'all make some decisions, basically. And I'm going to have to talk with you on the phone. The long story short is I don't want to go back and want y'all to go back and redo, unless you really want to, which is fine. We can talk about that. I don't think we need to go back and redo the 2018 to 2019, but some of these were they just don't have actionable stuff, and it causes problems with the follow-up form. So I'm going to go back and look at this one that Logan did a while ago as an example, and I'm going to point out a few things. So, and the idea is to keep it as simple as possible. All right, so students will develop convincing. So this is just a PLO. Right, y'all all have your PLOs, and I think, Kristen, if you're not happy with your PLOs, we can still tweak those because I don't think they're officially turned in yet, which was a mistake from a while back. Okay, and then you just map it hopefully to one, but you could do more than one ILO. So that, this is pretty common here. You just put the ILO in there that you're matching to. And so here is where some of us went off the train tracks for before. So let's try not to do this with the 20 and 21 form. You want to have a number here, right? Is the ideal thing. We desire for at least X percent, 70 is a really common number with the data people, of students to perform at or above 75% proficiency level, or whatever it is. Right? It could be something else. Just make it as specific as possible. Hopefully there's a number there. It doesn't even really matter if you hit the number because there's all sorts of opportunities. That's what this part of the form later on. You can dovetail it into what's coming up. How will you collect the data? That's just how you get it. So here Logan is saying that the engineering instructor is going to get it from a final exam. Right? So that's as specific as it gets. Doesn't have to be that. Could be we want this average group. We looked at these 3 different assignments in Canvas. Hopefully it's something you can get real quick. So think about this in your courses going forward. Just what's hopefully a really fast way just to get the data. All right, what type of assessment? Or are you getting it from an assignment? I think most of y'all will be getting it from assignment. So in all likelihood, direct. Right, for you. If you, we'll talk about indirect. You get more nuanced, of course, with indirect measures. I think we're all dealing with direct measures, though. And describe the assessment. Well, she already did that, but yeah, it's coming from the final exam. Right. Okay, so the historical results for us, if it's new, right, and this is going to depend on that common assignment some of y'all were talking about from that you're wanting to fill in for fall 2019. But if there are no historical results for this time, then you don't have anything here, right? If there was something trailing around here, then we would break it down. For most of you, are going to be face-to-face. I don't think your relevant programs have an online component at all, or off-site, or hybrid for all of you, for your program classes anyway. That's just putting it all together. What does it mean, big picture, if you had it? If we're talking about new stuff, there are no historical results, which is fine. But you will have, since we are in 2021, a summary of results because it's what you tried last year. And I think, Kristen, I told you incorrectly here that we were going to be blank across the board because I just short-circuited to the last time I filled one of these out was like in October, and so we were doing it earlier in the cycle. So it was meant to be filled in later. So your summary of whatever you tried this last year. All right, so we got this. So it depends on what you say for C. Right, for a lot of you all, right, since there's not a whole lot of students, which makes this AS in engineering, there's just a couple of students in engineering, makes this good. Well, 100% of the students did it, right? That's going to be the case with a lot of you all. for assignments. Maybe you set the bar really high and not all of them do it. That's fine too. You just need to document. So you say, not applicable for all of these. And then the summary. Okay, well, this is what we saw. We only did one in the fall. 2 students were enrolled. So you're just telling the SATS people, we're helping our own internal processes too, but we also need to indicate to our reviewers that, well, we realize we're not even really in a statistically valid sample here, but we're going through the motions, right? And typically the math people tell us you need 30 for a sample. We're not going to get that, so we're just going to go through the motions for a lot of this. And then at the end here, this has got to be actionable. And it's just one thing. So here, what Logan said way back when is she wants to look at curriculum. Most people aren't really looking at curriculum. They're probably picking an assignment or whatever, but it's not all of them. It's just based on these results, we will improve the curriculum by aiming consults you're going to get with transfer institutions and see what they're doing to align. So she's going to say in the future, so if she were, like, I don't know that she's filling this one out, but if she was filling out the fall 2019 form that comes with it that we're turning in this time, she's going to, something, we talked with UNT and now we are going to try to change X or Y or Z, or we talked with them and it turns out we are already really good with the curriculum. And so now that, we're gonna maybe seek to switch this in the future or something like that, right? So I guess my question for y'all here is what I need y'all to think about anyway. First of all, let's try to have something specific for the 2021 form. But for going backward, if we don't change anything for theater and music for 2018, 2019, what I think I can say is something along the lines of, in the other form that comes up, we mistakenly filled out the form before and that we didn't have anything actionable here. Like we didn't say that we're going to change an assignment. We were going to try something new in technology. We were going to try to assess differently or whatever the case was, right? So being as that's the case, I'll just say that in a sentence or two, if it's good with you all. And then you could go to the common assignment that some of you talked about if you want to carry that forward. This one where students are apparently required to go to performances, and I know we're short-circuited a little bit by COVID. So think about, do you want to keep that? Because if you want to keep it, then we're going to have to put this in the, like going forward for this time. So if you kept that and we kept on the same PLO and ILO for it, then we would have historical results. If all this is sounding confusing, and if it's just a big old hassle and we don't need to worry about it, let me know and I will work with you. We'll come up with some language to essentially, I think we can just scrap the whole thing from before and then in essence start anew in 2020, 2021. Right? So I'm going to attach this whole document in email. This is just a few pages into it. It's the most relevant one. You can see what other disciplines are doing. Some of your stuff in here from the past is in. It's a little bit spaghetti all over the table in that, like, I can see some dings in our own internal report, but hey, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and send this out again. If I have confused you any further right now, let's just talk over the phone or maybe try to meet or something like that.